All right, hello, and welcome back to the Crossword vlog, aka Clog Sunday edition. And technically, we have, if I were to do my fastest ever Sunday by a large margin, a shot at the 1 hour challenge, I wouldn't get your hopes up too high, of course, but we'll give it the old college try. I think realistically, um, I need to set up the rest of this week or the rest of a future week to give me more like 17 minutes for me to really feel like I have a chance on the Sunday. But certainly sub 10 is not really in my current day abilities, but there's always a chance. Theme here is called Original Thinkers. I'm not really sure. It would behoove me to figure out what that might mean beforehand. Original thinkers. So thinkers could be like, oh, that's a thinker, like sort of a riddle or something like that. Um, so it could be like new riddles or something. Original. I sounds a little bit far-fetched. Could be thinkers like philosophers, maybe. Um, but I think we're just gonna have to get into it. Let's get it started. Ewo here. Um, I'm I'm a no maybe. Went to, no. I'm a no. Um, canned fuel. Ahab. AAPB. Went by hair. Acre, I guess. Pace University. Amelia Bedelia. Stumble. I guess real. Bleenies. Bird brain. Shows. April showers. So neat. East northeast or north northeast maybe. Loan to. Alpo. Point A. Leota. Um, Prevail. Michigan. Avenue. Raincoat. Maybe. Bid. A tear. Ohlone. Cheeky. Maybe sassy. Yves Saint Laurent. Play U-Bolt. Cups. Hobo. Quaffs. Iowa. Flea. Power couple. Rag. Sea air maybe. Rive. Variant. The Nash. Auto tune or synthesizer. I really think it's auto tune. Like, no, Hypnotic, I guess. like Huron, Striven, I guess. Loci, Moe's Bar, I guess. Giving a nod. Aspens, maybe? Scaredy. Dreamer, maybe? No. Unmade Bed. Yeah, Man Cave. Kofi Annan. Ant. 9. Eminem. Into something, a trace of it. Remend, like a sock. I'm here. Cersei. Maybe Ga. Regret. But Ugh. Dream Team. Genesis. AMs. 12. Drudge. Driving on dates. Org chart. Okays. Oreo. Driving needs here. Edited. O-ring. Gray. In other words, id est, gree, eerie, snare, star witness, Sega, czar, SSNs, church staple, organ, in regards, years, to toy, twists, roti, air, know that, cures, art, yes and, romantic, omen, nerd out, Soviet era, sassy, etc. bet. Or deposit. Okay. Nib. Yipes. E here. Driving force. Like stick on. Her heart. Hmm. Don't love that. Earl. Real. Eve. Slat. Salam. I pass. Can her tuner. Okay. Britannia. Come on, I guess. Motion. Chomp here. Cable guy. Runs deep. Detector. Tie-dye. Gator. In roots, I guess. Gate. Parted. Pairs. Press on. CD character. With crass. Airheads. Clue. Okay. Was at, I guess. Aspect. I'll make it liars. Sterno, I think, is a thing. Mountain goat. Starter. Canoe here. Might have a hood. Softened. What's like arena? Often wrapped but never spoken. So this is A, E, I over U. Hmm. Um, I'm so confused. That doesn't look like a word. Wrapped but never spoken. Anvil? I don't know if that makes sense. Gavel. Yeah, you wrap a gavel, I guess. Gina? Gina? One alpha. Onesie. Oh, goodness. Work. Sweetened. Cows. Alcohols. That wasn't the issue. Gina and gavel makes sense. I think. Cattle calls. Alright. Gonna look for a typo. I think Leo's right. Oh no, hypnotic. Okay. Gator. I think that's a thing. CD character. Ah, where else? Um, just don't want to go through all the letters again before I check everything. Yeah, I'm kind of confused by that, to be honest. That is a good time. Obviously, it could have been a lot better. I think was mostly done around the 14-minute mark. But yeah, really solid week. That might be my second best ever, maybe third, but definitely not fourth best ever. And as you can see, if I had not choked so hard on some of these earlier ones, maybe we would have had a chance. But yeah, I mean, it was an enjoyable puzzle for a lot of it, but then just some parts were just so painful. I mean, stuff like Otic is just kind of unforgivable, but at least it was crossed fairly. Although Auto Tuner is a little awkward. Here I'm getting a little tired, but Aglala's crossing lows clued like that. I'm just so confused by that. Like I don't know why Lowe's is cattle calls, to be honest. I have no clue. And then Aglala is I'm sorry, it's just not not the type of thing that you should be crossing unfairly, is what I would say. Um, yeah, a lot of proper nounage it felt like, and I feel like I benefited from being aware of those proper nouns. You got your Leota crossing Bedelia, could definitely be a problem. Cersei, obviously, it's a gimme if you've watched Game of Thrones, and not a real name otherwise. Um, but yeah, okay, let's talk about the theme. There's a lot of themer answers, so it's basically just regular phrases clued in relation to scientists, generally scientists. I think some of them, yeah, I just like don't know who that is on some of these. Um, but yeah, like both of these are related to science involving power, like electrical power, so power couple. Must have been a bird scientist, so bird brain. Um, Cable guy. It's a bit of a stretch. I mean, presumably the inventor of Morse code, not the inventor of cables themselves. And Morse code, I guess, is often transmitted over cables, but not always. Um, so yeah, it was a bit of a struggle there. Mountain goat, I appreciate what they were going for here, but maybe it feels a little out of place where goat is being used as like the greatest of all time, more modern thing. This was one of the original summiters of Mount Everest. Um, but yeah, I don't know if he's like the greatest mountaineer of all time. Motion detector again, I'm not sure. This is a bit of a stretch, huh? He wasn't the one that detected the motion of the planets. Far from it, right? Like we've had hundreds, maybe even thousands of years of data that he was drawing on, certainly hundreds. And so we well knew what the motion of the planets was. It was well detected. It was just people didn't really understand why they moved that way, right? And motion predictor, motion explainer, perhaps, but motion detector, not really. Um, and maybe I'm being too mean on this theme on account of this Aglalas thing, but you know, that's my prerogative as a reviewing channel. Um, seedy character, Gregor Mendel, known for doing genetic related stuff or like understanding the crossbreeding characteristics and dominant recessive traits of peas. Um, I think this one works. He's a character that was spent a lot of time talking about seeds. I won't give any marks down for that. Driving force, similarly, I think this one works quite well with Henry Ford. He, not overstating anything, but he certainly was a force to make driving more common. Airheads, I think this also works for the Wright brothers. Their heads, like they're smart in some way at least, and air for flight. And then Sigmund Freud and Carl Jung or Jung. Um, I suppose they had some thoughts about dreams. This one I don't feel confident enough to quibble on. I'm not really aware of their theories, but both psychologists, um, and I guess they're a team of people that talked about dreams. And then Star Witness, I suppose this works. I mean, he did have a telescope. Um, so in the sense, like, witness is just so much of a less precise term than detector that it just works. I mean, he certainly was a witness to stars and had thoughts on them, but he definitely didn't detect them. Anyway, where does that leave us? I do think this was, unfortunately, it's unfortunate that this is very true, that this is better than the average um, Sunday puzzle. I hate to say it because there were a lot of parts of the puzzle that I didn't love, but I think I will have to give this a 6.5 out of 10. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.